on the mind of the Pies and the Demons as we get underway from the MCG. Jeff White going against Anthony Rocker in the centre of the ground. So Anthony Rocker able to get them moving too, with O'Brien getting the first decent kick out of the centre. That's Dimatina flashing through. Quick kick forward, bouncing almost all the way to the square. Tough one for Collins. Gavin Brown did well to get boot to ball. They couldn't get it through for a goal. But the Pies at least on the board.
Well, Gavin Brown on screen. He's kicked 9 goals straight for the season. Former Collingwood skipper. Pies coming off 8 successive losses. Whelan comes away from the back pocket. He's been a surprise packet. Williams, can he stand up today? No Nathan Buckley, one of the veterans of the side. It's been 20 goals for the season. Thumping kick deep inside 50. Josh Fraser's a target. Getting his hands on the ball was Ingerson. Collins playing in defence is lined up in the back pocket. Puts the ball back over the line for a toss back in. Leon Davis on screen, an exciting young player. There we see Lane sitting on the interchange bench. Tyson Lane can be a pinch hitter when he comes onto the field. Ben Kinnear, Craig Jackatine and Brad O'Bourne, son of Rod O'Bourne, the former Collingwood and Tiger player.
Free kick picked out there. Now it's going to Troy Simmons, who has been sharing the ruck duties with Jeff White in recent weeks. Appears to be running with Fraser at the moment.
Schwarz and Neitz have both lined up inside 50 for Melbourne.
So the Demons putting their big guns forward. Might get you an Aussie's opinion on Mel Michael at some stage, KB, too. He's also lining up forward. Interested whether you think he's more value forward or back. But let's concentrate on the play. Ingerson gets it to Bruce, who had to hurry his handball in the end. And the Demons now able to go forward in the direction of Neitz. Prestigiacomo went to ground. Neitz, big opportunity. Got himself clear. There's Williams. He is the #1 tackler in the league, and he showed it again there.
I like Mel Michael on the forward line. Before he got injured, he was one of their gun players in those first 4 or 5 weeks. He was very, very dangerous, I thought, Mel Michael. Really looked like he could play. The Curia comes wide, finds Anthony Rocker. Just, the mind was ticking over, decides to kick down towards the half-forward line. He was looking for Josh Fraser. Ball way out in front, over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Probably in the end, KB, not a bad option. Anthony had absolutely no options. Josh Fraser would have been 60 or 70 metres away, so to bang it out of bounds and to just collect their thoughts and start again, not a bad option.
Simmons doing the ruck work. Leoncelli paddling the ball along in front. He's been one of Melbourne's better players this year, been averaging 22 possessions a game, Leoncelli. And again, a boundary throw in some 70 metres around from Collingwood's goal.
Doesn't the MCG look in beautiful condition too?
Well, the service looks great. Of course, the news from Colonial Stadium's not so good with the Hawthorn-St Kilda game being put off to tomorrow to be played here as Leon Davis puts the ball back over the line. So Collingwood edge a little bit closer, some 30 metres from goal.
I'm slightly surprised they've started Josh Fraser down forward. I would have thought Anthony Rocker would have been a better option early. Obviously, he's played a lot more up in the centre forward region than Josh, so perhaps I'll look at switching that if it's not working out.
Well, he grabbed onto Ingerson there, but good tap down from Michael O'Brien, letting him down. Missing the shot at goal, and they're the sort of opportunities, obviously, that Collingwood need to take early on, Aussie.
Yeah, no doubt. And just up the other end, Hutto, it's great to see David Neitz up forward. I know Coach Downer has wrestled with that all year. Do you play Neitz up down back or down forward? But I think we saw last night with Wayne Carey, you put your guns up forward and you're going to win more often than not.
I think Mick Moldhouse would have been disappointed by O'Brien then. He had plenty of time to come around on his right foot, which he did, but he didn't open up the angle of the goal enough. I think he's better than that. Rocker. I've seen him start in the ruck a few times, Richard, and I think it really has fired him up. I think that's the position for him to start, then go forward. High flyer was Tarrant, off hands. Could be a danger today. Gets the ball quickly across to Powell, starting in the forward pocket, now having a run on the ball. Goes short across half-back, finds Whelan. Powell runs on. 22 possessions for the ex-Bulldog, playing for the Demons, kicks it in front, he's looking for White. Batheris showed a lot of pace, coming out hard as Neitz, rockets the ball, it's a poor handball, some fancy footwork by O'Brien, sets it up and Jukovic comes away from half-back.
Drives him to half-forward, just had a little bit too much on it there for Whelan. Didn't quite get through to Tarrant, so the ball out of bounds. Yes, Robertson also playing up forward for Melbourne and Farmer, and at the moment White. So it really is a star-studded forward line for the Demons. Mel Michael and Simmons doing the ruck work. Did he get in the back there, Troy Simmons at Michael? No. Mel Michael does well to get the ball to boot and also to not kick it out on the full. So Collingwood at the moment attacking, doing most of the attacking. Leon Davis on screen. We know that June has been a terrible month for Collingwood in recent years, and I guess that says it all. Dimatina gets the ball forward and over the line and out of bounds.
Perhaps, Hutto, the fact that the season started a month earlier, they just had that horror month a month earlier.
Yeah, well, it's been a horror 2 months for them, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it certainly has.
So we're inside 50, Collingwood, and Melbourne yet to score. The Pies 2 behinds. Ingerson from behind against Fraser, who got the tap down. Phoebe had it ripped away. Davis trying to barge through. Out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will go to Collins.
It'll be interesting today to see who stands up for Collingwood without Nathan Buckley. We saw when Matthew Richardson went down for the Tigers, the general feeling was that that would be the end of their season, but they went from strength to strength. And you just don't know who's going to take that next step.
The obvious one that comes to mind, KB, probably the second classiest in the side, is Paul Williams.
Look at Rocker over the top. Well, he said he's going to be fired up for this game. He was criticised on Talking Football. He said he wants to play a blinder. He's looking for Josh Fraser. Leon Davis, a touch of magic. Just tried to squeeze the ball out to Dimatina. Strong on the ground, does well, gets the ball still inside 50. Betheras closes, so does O'Brien. Davis is there as well. The Demons equal to the task. Going to ground was Robertson. Their second highest goal kicker this year with 24. Gives it across to Leoncelli. The Demons on the burst. Neitz was hung on to. No free kick, yes. Farmer. They're paying advantage on 50. The Wiz runs to 50. Unloads. I'm not quite certain there was an advantage there. He couldn't just go straight on with the play. He had to balk and weave and come back. But it was allowed to go. Yeah, I see here being held on to by Presti Giacomo.
Well, the ball coming out via Burns, who has to kick quickly to centre half forward. This is where Collingwood have had problems so far. They haven't been able to take a mark. Dimatina roved it beautifully. Deserves to finish it off. Doesn't very well. And Ingerson did that very well. It was a poor kick from Dimatina after terrific roving, Aussie.
Yeah, well, he did all the hard work front and centre, and you just got to finish off better than that. Collingwood have had their opportunities early, but just haven't converted on the scoreboard.
Oh, Jeff White being exposed there. The ball through the middle of the ground. Well tackled again. McDonald wrapped up by Williams. Woden over the top. Well done, Farmer. Walsh, full head of steam. Just kept cool and calm. Put it out in front of Schwarz. Couldn't take the mark. And well done by the Collingwood defence again. Burns setting it out wide. O'Brien, space in front of him, and also Orchard. So he finds Orchard on the wing, who looks up, got a few leading options. One of them is Fraser out wide, another one Gavin Brown. Goes to Brown, Collins right there with him, and it's over and out. And I think they'd be pretty annoyed in the Collingwood coaching box, not with the endeavour, not with the way they're going in for the ball, because that's certainly been good, but just they haven't been able to convert any goals yet.
No, it's a good point. They've had plenty of opportunities. They've had the majority of the play. Certainly had more scoring opportunities than Melbourne. Josh Fraser and Ingerson. 8-3 inside 50. Brown around the corner. Centric kick. Danger here. And Mel Michael playing in front. Has marked. So some good signs here for the Pies.
Yeah, I think it'll be very important too that Mel goes back and kicks this goal, because it's already been mentioned, KB, by yourself. They've had the ball in that forward 50 more often than Melbourne at this stage. They need to put pressure on Melbourne on the scoreboard. And if they can do that now through Mel, very encouraging signs early for the Collingwood Football Club.
Well, he was very good in the early part of the season before injuring his shoulder. He's kicked 8 goals for the season, but of course he missed many weeks out of the side. Such an important inclusion for the Pies. If he can come back to his best form, he'll certainly help him in the second half. Mel Michael rams it home.
Played just 6 matches before today, and that's a real confidence boost for him, Aussie.
Yeah, no doubt. He's, you know, Mel wouldn't be much over 6 foot, probably 6'1" or 6'2" at the very most, but as we've seen week in, week out, whether he's playing down back or up forward, he's very athletic, and he always gives you a contest, Mel. There's no doubt with Mel, he's always in the contest, he'll give it his all.
So Collingwood get some reward for their early hard work, and have the lead at the moment by 8 points. White, a tap look good. Gigi Martina's been in everything. Atkins been quiet so far, but now he's underway with a wide kick. Tough one for Tarrant. Really didn't bounce well for him. Bruce did well to get it out to Uze. Lovely kick. It opens up. Well, Woden deciding not to play on with it. Robertson's up forward, as is Schwarz. Goes for Schwarz. Wasn't a bad kick. Richardson did well. Jukovic in support. Thought about going straight for the boundary. It was a scrubby old kick in the end, but it did the job, and they're out of trouble. So Collingwood running well off half-back through Burns. To the wing. Davis just got a little bit too far underneath it. Whelan was there. Davis again did well. Escapes with it to full forward. A couple there, Fraser and Brown. Fraser, was he held? No, said the umpire. Orchard, he was held as well. Also played for it. Didn't get the free kick. Phoebe, Davis, Fraser, a couple to beat. Whelan, they all stood up in the end, the Demons, and they'll get out of trouble from half-back. He can run right up to the wing and spear the pass into Russell Robertson, who's out on the lead.
Robertson is on the centre wing position. Loose player Leoncelli. Just physical size beat the Pies in that contest on their half-forward line, and Richardson playing in front. Got a big rap from Mick Malthouse. Said he had heard a lot about Mark Richardson, but he has been terrific for the Pies this year. He has stood up and he's been counted. Burns, acting skipper today. Pies certainly the underdogs against Melbourne, who are 8th on the table. The Pies are 13th. Now easy mark by Richardson. Plenty of time to recover. Comes away from centre half back. That's a beautiful kick out wide. Tarrant didn't even have to break stride. Back edge of the centre square. One-on-one contest. He's looking for Gavin Brown. Collins to beat. Reckon he could be a good player, Collins, if he gets a good crack at it without injury. Neitz, danger. 65 out. Loose player Robinson. Some quick thinking that time by Neitz. Spooted 24 goals for the season. Russell Robertson has kicked a lot of his goals coming off the bench.
Yeah, he's a noted jumping jack, Russell Robertson. He takes some fantastic marks. And one thing I love about him, apart from the fact that he is a good second option for goal, he's so hard at the ball. Week in, week out, you see him almost get knocked into oblivion, but never keeps his eye off the ball. He's a great young talent.
Well, the Demons yet to score. 1-2-8 the Pies. Robinson from right on 50. He's pushed it right and through for a minor score.
Well, I must say, Aussie, with a beard like that, how can you expect to kick goals?
It's an unusual one, isn't it? It's a bit Fu Manchu-ish, isn't it?
Say that again?
Fu Manchu.
Burns off half-back. Gets it onto the wing. Well, not good for Collingwood because Jeff White there to take the easiest of marks. Williams just tripped over the mark too. And it's called back. Anthony Rocker stands the mark. You see Neitz and Schwarz both roaming around down there, calling for the ball. Probably more space in front of Schwarz, but he goes wider instead. Good kick, and Robertson again. They might get 50 here. No. Burns was pretty late on that. He sets it up. Neitz propping. Oh, he didn't take the mark. He propped in good position. Collingwood defence working overtime. Farmer got through somehow. Then he just went straight into Jukovic. Goes again, Jeff Farmer. Schwarz did it well. They kept it alive, the Demons. Quick snap at goal, Rigoni. And they're on the board for a second time. So 2 behinds, Melbourne, and Collingwood 1-2-8.
I think Neil Danaher will be very happy with Jeff Farmer's efforts there. He tried something magic. We thought something was going to eventuate, but he just kept trying, and eventually the ball did spill out.
Lockyer all year has been good for the Pies. Bring the ball back into play. Finds Licuria. Pumps the ball back. Tarrant. Reminds me a lot of Nick Holland. Runs all over the field. Covers a tremendous amount of territory. I think he's going to be a real star. Drops the ball in short. Mel Michael. Davis looks really sharp today. White has read it well. Well, we're told by Melbourne that he has been through a lot of troubles with a shin, been hospitalised, and has been playing through great difficulty, but he's lined up the ruck today. Leoncelli, loose player is Robertson. Let's see if that beard stops him from kicking a goal. It doesn't.
Hutto.
Nice kick. Still not a fan of the beard, though.
No, it's not a good look, but good option by Jeff White. Just sitting back in defence. Sloppy kick then by Collingwood. Stephen Powell, he's been good for Melbourne all year long. Just a tireless work. Leoncelli, great vision. And Robertson slotted it through. He had to do it.
So Melbourne get the answering goal halfway through this first quarter. It's a low-scoring encounter. But 1-2-8, Collingwood have still had more of the ball, but Melbourne in the last 5 minutes certainly going forward with more promise. This is Powell trying to wheel his way clear. Got there. Schwarz going sideways, setting up just over the head of Leoncelli. Now the race is on. He's in front, but he overran it. The Theris did pretty well. Then he has to kick quickly. He was pushed to the ground. No downfield free. Anthony Rocker seemed to stop then, and Ingerson got to the front and took the mark. Not sure if Anthony Rocker thought there was a downfield free coming or what, but he just seemed to stop. And Ingerson just worked his way to the front. So it seems like that move might have been made in the ruck now, with Rocker going up forward. Onto the wing, Orchard just feeding the ball out to Williams, who gives it and wants it back. Doesn't get it back though. Fraser setting it up high. This is how a lot of the balls have come in, and it hasn't been that easy for the Collingwood forwards to take the mark. And again, the Melbourne defence able to clear. Walsh under pressure. Great tackling though by Davis, and is rewarded. And gee, Leon Davis, hasn't he been up and about so far? Has had 5 possessions now, and that's his best one yet.
Yeah, great kick, Leon Davis. Geez, he has been alive by KB in that forward line, hasn't he?
Well, I can remember speaking to Noel Judkins, of course, the recruiting officer down at Collingwood before the draft, and I said, tell me one kid who you'd like to pick up. And he said, Leon Davis, but we'll never get him because we're, Josh Fraser and all that sort of stuff. He won't be there when we get a chance. They got him.
And Tarrant, beautiful looking kick. And he's drilled it. So Collingwood second, and they are back in front by 6 points.
I think that this boy on screen, Chris Tarrant, in 3 or 4 years' time, he just might be one of the absolute guns of the competition. I just really like the way he runs. I like his work rate. He's a beautiful mark. He's a lovely kick. He's got everything going for him. He's got good size. I think he could be a star. Highs by 6 points. Just under 8 minutes left in this first quarter. Traditional rivals, Melbourne and Collingwood. They've had some great games, some great grand finals. Loose ball, edge of the centre square. Rigoni kicks a high ball. It's one for the Brave, but Theris caught underneath it. Does well, got a fist to the ball. Atkins. Well, I'm not quite certain whether he had a great deal of time there. No sooner did he win the ball, he was being tackled. Rigoni pumps the ball. Neitz and Schwarz are going to be the target up forward. They need some crummers there as well, because it looks like the Collingwood defence, there's a throw, it was shoveled out, been pinched by Presky Giacomo. Now it opens up. Josh Fraser, so athletic, just needs a kind bounce. Back edge of the centre square. Now he's lost his footing. It's not Colonial Stadium, it's the MCG. The tackle is on from Dimatina, and he's got it. Is it going to Dimatina or Leon Davis? Coming back to Davis. Edge of the centre square. Great opening quarter, 6 possessions.
He's laid 3 tackles too, KB.
And Josh Fraser from about 80 metres out wobbles the kick forward. It's a shocker. Marked by Ingerson.
Yeah, probably one of the areas where Fraser still has to do a fair bit of work, I guess. There's his disposal. Under pressure too, but that one wasn't really. Powell goes very wide in search of and finding Robertson. Schwarz leading up to the 50 mark. Richardson has been with him, and he's been doing a good job so far. He's got support inboard. Richardson, he didn't use it. He went for the boundary line and he's pinged. And that's probably fair enough, because he definitely had another option there. Inboard was Paul Lucuria, and I'm surprised he didn't use him. Just pedal it straight over. Long kick into... Oh, it might almost bounce through, not quite. Neitz keeps it alive. Kick was smothered. Oh, Uze! Well, Mark Viduka's here, and he would have enjoyed that.
Well, I'd love to see that one on replay, boys. The margin for error there is just unbelievable. He just had to strike that just perfectly. Have a look on replay. Neitz tries to kick... Oh, that's a freak goal. That's something you'd expect Jeff Farmer to do. But Adem, he's the one telling it himself. Obviously, it may have had with his European background, may have played a bit of soccer as a child. But as you said, Hutto, Mark Viduka would have been very proud of that.
Scores a level, 2-2 apiece.
Atkins taken off the ground after that tackle too, replaced by Jacatine.
15 goals for the season by Adem, who has made the transition forward after being really a half-back where he's played some of his best football. Kicked off the ground by Richardson, ricochets back. Walsh, so good across half-back this year. Ragoni's kicks a poor one. Good hands that time. Really strong hands by Uze to Powell, who pumps the ball long.
It's coming
Wild
back.
kick, but the ball is coming back. And Uze is going to take the free kick. Well, he might kick his second goal for the quarter. He'll be shooting from right on 50.
Any idea what the free kick was for?
Adem to put the Demons in front. Now he got rid of the ball, and obviously the tackle was held too long. Uze from right on 50. He's shown his skills at ground level. Spins it through for a one behind, so just didn't really quite make good contact with the ball on that occasion.
So Mick Malthouse contemplating. Ooh, that was no mark in the end to Jukovic, but he cleared the ball pretty well out the wing. Michael is in front. The ball not bouncing kindly for him. Simmons was there as well. Williams couldn't take it. Simmons wins out, and his handball was terrible. Lucuria on the rebound. Mel Michael loose. A lead from Gavin Brown, but that kick also run down. So it's on 50. Bruce trying to get through, and he does. Just got the handball away in the nick of time. Leoncelli aligning himself for the leading Woden, but Burns saving mark and quick to his feet. Quick to spot up on the outer side that Andrew Jukovic was running. And now Collingwood on the rebound. Going with a probing kick. Ingerson in better position to spoil. Over the top was Rocker. He's still going at it. Rocker, Leon Davis, Collins it was that came through. Cleared it onto the wing. There's Bruce, well wrapped up, and a very good tackle from Leon Davis again. And the ball out of bounds. Another tackle for Leon Davis.
Well, he's had 6 possessions and 4 tackles. Number 40 on screen, Leon Davis. Not much of him. Josh Fraser, Gavin Brown. 248 games of AFL football. A centering kick. Williams was the target, and he's got it. Inside the centre square, too far out to score. He just needs support. In fact, he'll go short. Finds Lucuria. Sets it up well.
See, that was really well done.
Bruce got it.
Yeah, it was smart.
In the goal square, all the big blokes from Melbourne players.
Yeah, Jeff White had dropped back. Paul Williams, as I mentioned earlier, he's a class act. He was smart enough to realise if he just banged it long, Jeff White would have either marked it or banged it through for a point, so which would eventuate in a turnover. So in the end of the day, very smart play by the Collingwood team.
O'Brien from right on 50. Their gun recruit nails it.
Well, he has certainly done a good job for the Collingwood team under enormous pressure, KB. They've lost 8 in a row, but Shane O'Brien, since transferring from the Brisbane Lions, has been a very good recruit. There was a lot of pressure on him to perform, obviously seen as one of the great white hopes, but he's been nothing but sensational this year.
So a real spirited start here from Collingwood. The ball going from both ends to the other quite regularly without either team being able to convert really well. They're both having a crack, and particularly encouraging signs for Collingwood, I would suggest.
Well, what we might see today is more of a spreading of the load without Nathan Buckley, who really is the focal point of the Collingwood side. And I think as this game goes on, that will be one of the interesting things for Mick Malthouse, just to see just how much that load and the influence of Nathan Buckley not being there is spread amongst the rest of his teammates.
And I guess who can stand up in the midfield? They're going to need plenty as the afternoon wears on. Phoebe, good kick. Gee, Robertson's really given them a target moving into attack, hasn't he? 5 marks he's taken. And Leoncelli's been busy as well. The ball inside 50, Neitz. Now Schwarz has been quiet, and that's a poor handball. Straight to Jacatine, who's in trouble. He's gone, holding the ball. Holding the ball, and well, Jacatine came on to replace Adkins, who also was pinged for holding the ball, so I wonder whether he'll get the same fate.
And Scott McLaren did well there, the umpire, because he paid advantage and then brought the ball back. when it was quite clear that it wasn't an advantage to the Melbourne side.
Looks like David Neitz is complaining about the ball too, boys. Kicking it back to Scott McLaren, suggesting it's a little bit flat.
Scott McLaren showing that, like Peter Carey, he can take a mark as well. I was out at the Sherrin factory last week, and the boys would be very disappointed to see that one go flat. Malcolm Blight and myself visited, and talking footy on Monday, you'll see the results of that, because Blighty's been talking about left-handed footballs and right-handed footballs.
With the stitching.
But there was a problem earlier in the year with the bladders. A couple of them went flat, so...
Well, Scott McLaren is a pharmacist, so I doubt whether he knows much about the making of a Sherrin football.
Well, David Neitz knows how to kick one. There's not much doubt about that. And this is to put Melbourne back in front with just 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. Started at left, and that's where it stays. Still in play. Oh, big chance for Schwarz and a goal. A goal to David Schwarz. And that would be very disappointing to the Collingwood hierarchy, I would think.
Well, instead of trying to just get the back of the hand here and knock this through with the back of the hand, this was like a sweep.
Yeah, it's
and as a result, see, the sweep didn't quite come off. And that's a very lucky goal in the end for Melbourne. And there was Mick just having a glance. Be disappointed. Minute and a half left. And with the back of the hand, that probably would have went through, but with the sweep, just the other hand's in the way. Demons in front by a point. 21 plays 20. Centre square, O'Brien. Hurried kick back to 50. And Whelan, who has been very good this year. Played half a season in Darwin. Did so well in the competition's best and fairest. And has really been strutting his stuff with the Ds. Rigoni. And Robertson, well, he has been magnificent today. He has absolutely killed him across the half-forward line. Can you believe it? He's taken 7 marks in the first quarter.
That was paid a mark, I think, then.
Woden. 7 marks in the first quarter. I mean, if he keeps that up, he'll take more marks than anyone in the history of the game. That'll be 28 for the game. I think Gary Dempsey once took 28. Woden. And there's a good mark, and there's mark number 8.
That beard, I said it doesn't help his kicking, but gee, it helps his marking.
We may have to get the record books out for the marking. That's just magnificent.
He just may have scared everyone off. Russell Robertson, 8 marks in the first quarter. This is a marking show.
He is noted for his marking, KB. I did make the point earlier. He's very, very strong overhead, Russell Robertson, and doesn't mind going for his marks.
And you see Scotty Burns then just in that corner of that shot, who's picked him up. He's the acting Collingwood captain today. He just couldn't believe it, just shook his head again because he's got a real jumping bean. He's playing on today. Robinson going for his second goal. And he has kicked it.
Well, if Mick Malthouse wasn't happy prior to that goal with David Schwartz's effort, with 1.5 minutes to go, one thing you don't want your team doing is allowing the opposition to kick 2 late goals, and that's exactly what the Melbourne Football Club have done. Collingwood have probably had more of the ball this quarter. They've done all the hard work. At the end of the day, they'll find themselves 7 points down at quarter time.
Well, Mick Malthouse persisting with Scotty Burns at the moment. I wonder whether he'll make a change at quarter time. Robertson with
Scotty Burns.
His domination in the air. So out of the middle, they'll go forward again. Only 11 seconds. O'Brien rode the tackle. Mightn't be time for either side to get a score now. Only 4 seconds. Unless Collingwood can take a mark from this kick, siren will go now. So Neil Danaher will come onto the ground pretty happy, I think, to be in front, because Collingwood were very spirited, and Russell Robertson has certainly contributed to the Demons being in front. 8 marks, 2 goals, and Mick Malthouse plenty to think about at quarter time without Nathan Buckley. They were good early, but in the end they're behind Aussie Leoncelli. So we get ready to start the second quarter. Collingwood very spirited early in the first. Let's see what happens in the second. White to Powell. Melbourne to that dangerous forward line. Neitz in front. Press to Giacomo. But Leoncelli just ripping it off the pack. Deserves a goal. Outstanding play. And he finishes finishes it off well.
That was just perfect roving. I'll throw a name up from the past, boys. You remember him, Gary Wilson. He was probably one of the best rovers I'd seen doing that. That was just almost in fast motion, KB. We'll see on replay.
Well,
Stephen Powell.
He actually crumbed it well, didn't he, Stephen Powell?
Oh, and look at that, just perfect.
And that's Scotty Burns' opponent too. He's having a bad afternoon, Scotty Burns.
And as you know, KB, you were fantastic crumbing the ball. It's not easy to crumb the ball that close to the contest. It's just hit or miss.
So Scotty Burns has moved off Russell Robertson, so he'll be shaking his head with Leoncelli kicking that opening goal. Uze, it's a very short kick, no mark. Scotty Burns ties him up. So the Demons by 13 points, 5-3 plays 3-2.
It's now becoming quite a crucial period of the game for Collingwood. The lead has blown out to 13 points. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring match, so they're going to have to stay fairly close.
Jeff White might be just enjoying his run back in the ruck after that shin problem. High ball, Mel Michael, test of strength, does it well against Simmons. Well, he kicked the first goal of the game, rockets the ball onto O'Brien. It's a kick. He was sort of half off balance as he tried to kick the ball towards the goal square. Collins did the job playing on Gavin Brown, just wobbles the ball to the half-back flank. Jeff White, it was a loopy handball, very sloppy play, and the ball is coming back, and the free kick will go to Jukovic.
He was a bit stiff there, Adem. He was making the play. He's tapped the ball onto his Melbourne teammate, and unfortunately he's obviously got in the back of Jukovic.
Well, it was a poor handball from Jeff White. Didn't really have any sting on it at all. Josh Fraser, his lead's been ignored. Anthony Rocker, he's got it.
There's no margin for error there. That had to be spot on, that kick, and it was.
So Anthony Rocker started the game well. Let's have a look at this free kick. Well, you can see they're definitely in the back to Jukovic. 4 marks and 4 possessions to Anthony Rocker. And he's booted 23 goals for the season. So Melbourne have bounced out the blocks with the opening goal in this second quarter. Anthony Rocker, they trail by 13 points. Can he drag it back to 7? Starts to bend it back. Bangs it through.
Well, Anthony has been a goal kicker for Collingwood all year long, along with his brother, who's out of the side at this stage. But Anthony did need to kick that goal. They were starting to blow the lead out of it, Melbourne, 13 points. And as I said, I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring match. And for Collingwood to have any hope whatsoever, Anthony will probably have to kick 3 or 4 minimum today.
Well, very important goal, that one, for the Pies, that's for sure. After Melbourne had been on a roll, they'd banged, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. Deep inside 50, though. Robertson, there's Burns, the man under all sorts of pressure. And the afternoon not getting any easier for him as he's crunched to the ground. He had a fair bit of the ball himself in the first quarter. 6 kicks, took 4 marks. Atkins, Kinnear, Lane and Auburn on the bench for the Pies. Uze hacked it out of the air. Burns again under pressure. Leoncelli sitting on top of him, and again we'll have a bounce. And Burns believing that he deserved a free kick on that occasion. A lot of players around the ball. Back in the goal square, Richardson and Schwarz wait. They're about 40 metres off the contest, you can see. Neitz slapping it forward. Well, they did it pretty well in the end. Orchard on the end of the Batheris handball, and he didn't have much to go to, so he went for and finds the boundary line.
Yeah, again, a smart option there, Hutto. We saw that earlier. There was no other option there but for Orchard to just bang it out of bounds and start again.
Travis Johnstone on the phone. Looks like he might be coming off of the Demons. Some instructions. The ball once more over the line for a toss back in. From the #1 draft selection in the national draft, Travis Johnstone. Jeff White and Rocker, 2 of the young guns in the competition. Powell, driven to the ground, will take the free kick. White They want to move the ball quickly into their forward line, and standing tall this time is Scotty Burns. That'll lift his confidence. Goes wide, finds Dimatina. Fraser's out in front, kicks long to space. Tarrant's the target. Just went to ground, just couldn't hold his footing. Brown has kicked 9 straight goals for the season. That's his first behind.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that, Gavin. He really did well to just open up that play. He weaved some magic, got onto his right boot. Probably had a lot more time than what he thought. And he's just overcorrected too far by the looks of it. Yeah, he won't be happy at all.
Well, that was a little dangerous, but it finds its mark. And Melbourne now through Simmons can run through centre-half back. The loose man running away is Collins. Wasn't a good handball to him, but he has time to turn it into something good for the Demons. Pushing well up the ground. Off the left foot kick. Uze bouncing one. This is Johnson. Oh, the handball run down. He was just on the ground. We saw him getting in style of Curia. He's gone. He should have been gone. He really sat over the top of it. Play on. Rocker. Oh, he held on to it a long time. Just got it away in time. Uze bursting through. Delivery was excellent. Oh, Schwarz made a meal of it. This is Farmer. Just lurking. Lockyer wraps him up. They keep it alive, the Demons. Still they go. Was that over the shoulder? Betheris under pressure. Neitz working it out. Russell Robertson. Out of the form.
Yeah, it was always going to be a low percentage thing to go for goals, and I think Russell was no doubt going for goals there on his left boot.
Curia, transfer of play, finds Burns. Tucked in the back pocket. Great smother off the boot. Chance for Melbourne. Leoncelli towards Neitz. Desperate on the ground level. Second effort. Tunnel balled it out. Presti Giacomo comes away. Finds Anthony Rocker, who can stand and deliver. Kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Here comes Tarrant. Got the bounce he wanted. The speed of Leon Davis wants to take him on. Whelan's a hard man to beat in the crunch. Davis desperate over the pack. Tries to keep the ball alive. Squeezed up. He'll be pinged. No.
Should be.
Wow.
Should be.
There was no attempt to keep that ball alive. Now the umpires are conferring.
That is dreadfully inconsistent.
And Powell's coming off. But no attempt there by Phoebe to keep it alive.
Yeah, it would have been different, KB, if he was right on the line and spun out of bounds, but he was a good 3 or 4 yards out. And as you said, the umpires have to be consistent.
The Demons by 6 points. White thumps the ball back over the line.
Now, that was interesting. Play restarted there before McDonald was back in the play, and my understanding of the blood rule is the player has to be in position.
Yep, no doubt.
And the Collingwood player wasn't ready. The Melbourne player was.
Well, if they take too long to come on, they're allowed to bounce the ball. They're given a fair time to do it. Of course, the player leaving the field doesn't have to be off the field before the new player comes on. So if they want to take too long, the umpire will restart. Anthony Rocker, can he kick a big goal? It'll take a mighty kick. He's a good 65, 70 metres out.
What a confidence boost it would be if he could roost this through. He's not going to try.
It's a centering kick. Tarrant. Well, I've spoken a lot about this young boy. I think that he is tops.
Well, there's no doubt, KB, that Eddie Maguire and the whole Collingwood Football Club worked tirelessly to bring Chris back over the summer months. He was obviously a little disillusioned with his football, wanted to go away fishing with his mates, but their persistence paid off and he's back in the team.
Can he finish off? Tarrant rams it through. He's got 2 and scores a level.
Well, they keep chipping away the Pies, don't they? Scores are level. Early in that quarter when the lead did blow out to 13 points, there were some worrying signs, but they just keep chipping away. And if they can keep this going, if they can just hang with Melbourne, I don't think it's going to be a big scoring game. If they can just hang tough, it could be closer than what we think.
Given that Melbourne kicked the first goal of their second quarter, been a terrific performance by Collingwood to get back on level terms, and here they go again. O'Brien couldn't get an effective kick, but Adkins should be able to. His kick is very wide, out in front of Anthony Rocker, but so far in front that it's out of bounds. Well, Rocker said that he wanted to play a blinder, and he's playing a pretty good game so far. 5 marks, 6 kicks, 1 goal. He's set up that last one. Fraser rode the tackle, then worked it on. Oregonian was under pressure. Phoebe also under pressure. There's Leon again. Oh, Leon Davis almost could have been rewarded. Well, Fraser held onto it for a long time. Too long. Threw it, said the umpire. Uze into the middle of the ground. Ben Beams might get a free. Now, that was pretty silly, really, by Lockyer. I know he was trying to stop Beams, but I thought that Beams wasn't a shoo-in to take the ball away. As it is, White takes the mark, 60 out.
Yeah, Hutto, Ben Beams just came onto the ground replacing Jeff Farmer.
So obviously Neil Danaher not happy with something that Farmer did. Little short option was on, and that's pretty poor manning up. Leoncelli within range where Jeff White probably wasn't. Andrew Leoncelli kicked 1 goal this afternoon and has kicked 9 goals, 2 for the season before today, so he's now kicked 10 goals. Just inside 50, it's coming back, it is coming back, touched on the line. So Melbourne in front by that margin.
Yeah, you called it well, Hutto. It was swinging back, but at the end of the day, just didn't have the legs to carry over the line.
5-4-34 Melbourne, 5-3-33 the Pies. Great traditional rivals. Some wonderful games over the years. The Pies have lost 8 games on the trot. Can they break the drought? The Demons have lost their past 3, but they are in 8th spot on the ladder. But Theris marks at half-back. Woden hasn't had a real impact on the game today, just the 4 possessions. Well down on the 22 that he's been averaging. Fraser rockets the ball wide to Lockyer. I like the run of Collingwood. Richardson. Some great tackling by some of their younger players today, and Fraser and Leon Davis. Plenty of spirit. Burns maybe just starting to work his way back into the game. Carved up in that first quarter by Russell Robertson, who took 8 marks in their first term.
Just got no options here, Scott Burns. None of the Collingwood forwards are leading towards him.
Yeah,
Burns, centre wing.
Push Jeff
Rocker.
Right too.
Well, he just might get the distance. It might be a centering kick. Tarrant's going to look dangerous. Kicks the ball in. Here's Tarrant. Big fist away that time by Jeff White. At ground level, Walsh pounced on it. Great smother off the boot. Loose ball. That smother came from Williams. And the Pies tied up. 45 metres out from goal. We saw Walsh last week. He was a tremendous player. Went off with crook ribs. There's Jeff Farmer sitting on the interchange bench. So far, no impact. Just the 1 kick and 1 handball. I'd like to see him play midfield, though. Just give him a little bit of room. Shoveled out. Orchards keen to paddle the ball long in front. Adkins changes direction. Batheris tried to crash his way through. Caught was Fraser. Good enough to get the handball away. It's alive. Batheris dragged down, caught high. Yeah. Will take the free kick. Oh. They won't play advantage. It'll come back. And Rupert Batheris with this kick to put the Pies in front.
Yeah, it was a good call there by Michael Vuzzo. You have to protect the player going for the ball, and no doubt you have to protect the player if they do get hit in the head. Rupert made the play, not once but twice, and just persistence paid off. And let's just hope he can just seal off his good work with a much-needed goal.
Well, he's kicked 1 goal, 6 for the season. He likes it. He's got it.
Rupert's been a great story at Collingwood. He tried out at Fremantle and virtually walked in the door at Collingwood and said, I want to have a go. He was on the sub list, elevated to the senior list. And as I said earlier, he's a workhorse. He'll give it to you all day long, and he's a great young kid.
So Collingwood, after being down by a couple of goals, have hit back to be in front by 5 points. Tremendous performance by the young Pies. Dimatina in and under again.
No,
gets it out with a throw.
No, he's thrown it yet. Good call.
It's a pity because Dimatina's won some hard balls early in both the first quarter and then the second. That's a penetrating kick right to the danger zone. Really tough for the defence. Had to be working overtime, and they were. The umpire eventually blowing the whistle. A lot of players around the ball and not wanting to give it up. Shane Woden this afternoon, I would have thought relatively quiet. 3 in 1 he's had. Has gone off the boil a bit after a steaming start to the season. Still in the danger area though for Melbourne. 40 metres out from their goal. Robertson, Batheris. Now they're out of trouble. The Curie find lucky. Oh, Burns! Well, I would have thought pretty lucky. Beams has kicked. Now there's a throw being paid, and it's going Collingwood's way.
I certainly wouldn't have paid a free kick against Scotty Burns. He's got to have some opportunity to get his balance to get rid of the ball. I think that was very good umpiring then.
Well, we'll come back to it. You're probably right, KB, but he wouldn't have wanted any more time.
Williams on the burst, back to Mel Michael. It was a poor handball. Walsh, can he make him pay? Keeps the ball alive to Robinson, to Simmons. The Demons on the charge. Williams chased hard inside 50. Neitz. Well, a poor handball for the Pies on the half-forward line, and Walsh did well. He pinched it. Schwarz, who kicked his 200th goal in the first quarter, and he kicked the goal off the ground. Second lead has been ignored. Now, David Neitz is a thumping kick. He's got a beautifully relaxed run in. And if he makes real point of contact, he'll send this through post high. David Neitz, the skipper. Right on 50. Starts to bend it back right to the line. That's better defensive play. 3 or 4 behind.
He really didn't use all the space he had then, David Neitz. He could have walked inside 50 and had a shot, but he's kicked that from about 55 metres, so obviously he just misjudged the distance.
Lockyer bringing it back into play. Well, he gave Melbourne a chance. Richardson just had it taken away by Woden, who will get a lot of praise from Melbourne fans for that little effort. Still Jeff Farmer on the bench. 6-3 to 5-5. And I'd say he's injured. Mercuria. Going to come through, we'll have another bounce.
In what most would have thought could have been a one-sided contest, boys, it's been very competitive so far.
Yeah, Collingwood more than competitive, really, Aussie, aren't they? I mean, they're had their chances. They're in front, and probably unfair on Melbourne to say they could be further in front, but they really have worked very hard this afternoon. As are the Demons now. They're trying to get something going up forward. Uze trying to lay the handball off. He threw it. No, he got a push in the back. Kicking quickly, he had a man out wide. Oh, Robertson, I think it is again, who was falling over. Still managed to take the mark.
It's almost as if, well, this marking code is too easy, so I'm going to make it look hard.
That's 9 marks. He's had a pretty quiet time of it in this second quarter, after taking 8 in the first. Here he is, and he can roost a ball too. But that time it's just going to drop on the edge of the square. Johnson flying. Out of behind the result, so we've got a real close game now. 3 points the margin.
Lockyer goes short, finds Tyson Lane, who can be a goal kicker. It just might be a pinch hit up forward later in the game. Deep in defence, kicks the ball wide. It's a great kick, finds Williams. He's been pretty handy. 7 possessions and 3 marks. This kick is a shocker.
Yeah, that's unlike Paul Williams. Normally a beautiful kick. He saw Chris Tarrant lead, and he was going back before he was going forward, KB, if you know what I mean. And he just kicked off the back step.
And invariably you kick Paul. Kick very poorly when you kick on that back foot. The high flyer was Robertson. He's taken 9 grabs. Prestigiacomo comes away. Davis out wide. Should trap the ball. He is super quick. Can he set it up? Scotty Burns is the target. Whelan's going to close. And takes a ripper. Goes wide, finds Beams. 60 metres out. The Demons into attack. Neitz looks dangerous. He's got it. Second grab, no. Jukovic to Richardson. He was slow. Run down. Great chasing. And Rigoni finds a loose player in Powell. So Richardson would be disappointed. I think the chase came from McDonald.
Gee, that hurt on the outer side though. Davis's kick made it very tough for Scotty Burns, and when you're all running forward with loose men, Aussie, when suddenly the turnover's there.
In fact, it was Johnstone, Travis Johnson. Well, take a bow, because the youngster has been struggling to get a game, and that's the sort of desperation that Neil Danaher would have liked, because he just may turn this into a goal. The Pies lead by 3 points. Powell has kicked it. They're in front.
Just going back to that Leon Davis turnover, Hutto, how's the confidence of young Matthew Whelan? He was behind Scotty Burns. I suppose the coach would prefer them to go the punch, but he's just taken it upon himself to go the mark, and boy, didn't he show some skill and confidence.
So the Demons now by 3. Powell putting them back in front. Waiting to bounce the ball. Now we're ready. Fraser got the tap down. Leoncelli read it really well. Dimatina involved again. Richardson got a handball away. Fraser. It's all Melbourne at half forward though for Collingwood. There's a couple of Demons. One of them, Stephen Phoebe, took a long time to pick it up, but eventually brushed the tackle off and found his man, Leoncelli, on the wing. So the Demons skipping forward now. Long probing kick to the top of the square. Great thump away by Prestigiacomo. Not just gaining distance, hit Scotty Burns on the chest. It's not Scotty's day, but he gets some support. O'Brien streaming through. Good hands in front of Lucuria. Lucuria goes for the pass. It wasn't good to Gavin Brown. It was a tough one for him. Good running, good attacking work, but Melbourne getting away with it. Phoebe clearing kick, Beams gathers it well. Long kick, Lockyer back with the flight. Have to try and not give it away. Uze takes it. Got wide, he's got Beams, he's got Schwarz. Neither of them in really great position. Neitz is the target. Punched away. Well done, Rocker. Well done, Lucuria. Setting up Jukovic. And they are away. From half back, Batheris going long. And pretty well down to Tarrant. On the bounce he gathers. The feed was good to Michael. All had to be done quickly and was done well. Oborn running back. Just a bit too much, and there's Whelan again. Again proving the wrecker back there in defence.
Yeah, Brad Oberman just got onto the ground. Josh Fraser off for the Pies.
3.5 minutes left in this second quarter, and what a first half he's played, Josh Fraser, because just a few moments ago he was fantastic in the contest in the centre of the ground, got the handball out on his hands and knees, and he's had a mighty game so far. The Demons come away, they lead by 3 points. Ingerson finds Beams. Been pretty handy since he's come off the bench. It's been pretty lively. Replaced Jeff Farmer. Walsh was keen to play on. Schwarz wants it. Handball wasn't good. Schwarz, some fancy footwork. Goes wide, great vision, Whelan. Time for think music. The mind is ticking over and thumps the ball on. Neitz couldn't take it. Robertson bounces up with the ball. Johnson runs inside 50. He has hammered it home. Great goal.
Great work again too, KB, by Russell Robertson.
He was almost blind turning before he hit the ground, Robertson, wasn't he?
Oh, he is a class player, don't worry about that. David Neitz almost plucked this mark. It was a good blind turn, something I never were able to do in my career, but Travis Johnson, he has shown over the last couple of years that touch of class. And that's not something you learn, boys. That's something that's in your blood, that ability to kick a goal from that angle on the run. Right on Travis Johnson.
Well, he's been a point of much frustration for Melbourne. Recruited as the #1 draft pick. So many reps on him, but hasn't been able to deliver at this stage. Burns feeding it out. Richardson backs himself in and does pretty well. Barocca could unload. No, he goes for a pass. It wasn't a bad pass. It wasn't a great pass. Made it tough for Brown, who fought pretty hard. Oborn, good support. The numbers with the Demons, and there's Phoebe going out of bounds again. That time he was under more pressure, but there was no doubt what he had in mind. And he found his mark. Well, the first quarter really mirroring the second in many ways, with Melbourne finishing well. Oh, great steal! What a steal! He waits, and then he puts it through. Well done, Paul Williams. Great stuff. It was basketball stuff. Made the interception, and it was away with a fast break, Aussie.
That was just perfect judgment there by Paul Williams. Obviously, Rigoni didn't see him. Paul Williams knew what was going on. Was smart enough to just draw the Melbourne backman then. Had the option of going over to Gavin Brown if need be, but Paul Williams, one of those players that I did earmark, need to stand it up with Nathan Buckley out the side, and he's starting to do quite well.
Pies drag it back to a 3-point ball game. Great goal by Paul Williams. Jimmy Steins looks on. Melbourne coaching box. Paul Williams absolutely pinched it. It was brilliant play. And this young Collingwood side, no Nathan Buckley today, showing plenty of spirit. Adkins from the centre square, caught under pressure. Phoebe, kick goes to Simmons, pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Neitz hasn't quite been able to hold his marks, but Prestigiacomo has been very good in defence. They'll share the ball around. Lockyer leaves it for Adkins. Comes away from the half-back flank. Phoebe, low man in defence. Short to Schwarz. Back edge of the centre square. Just punches the ball wide. Woden. Oh, Davis was magnificent. Woden has really struggled. Davis heads for the line. Whelan can't keep it alive. So take a bow, Leon Davis. He's had 9 possessions. He's had 4 great tackles today. And from the Collingwood bench, he gets the pats on the back. This young man, who they believe down at Collingwood would be an exciting player in a couple of years' time. Maybe today he's going to strut his stuff as well.
He's been inspirational, Aussie, hasn't he? I mean, not just the tackles, all the hard work that he's done, and it's just been, that must just lift his teammates so much.
Well, it's not just the teammates, Hunter. You notice the crowd lift with just expectations, I suppose. It's so exciting. You just, not unlike Jeff Farmer, you know he's going to do something special every time he gets near the ball.
Minute and a half left in this second term. 48 plays 45. The Demons by 3 points. Beams, I like his game since coming off the bench. This is a great kick. Johnstone also started on the bench, so a couple of bench players have an impact for the Demons. To the half-forward line, kicks into Jukovic. Phoebe gathers well. They'll set it up short to Woden,
who quickly gives Powell not much of a chance to get through, but he did it well. Free kick to Johnson for holding on. Not paid. Lockyer, Leoncelli, Williams over the top, scooped it up very well. Lucuria run down, but Dimatina just lets himself down with a kick. Oh, Atkins kept it in, and now he needs to apply a tackle, and he couldn't. It was out of bounds, said the umpire. No, Walsh not complaining, so it must have been out. Oh yeah, just carried it over. They fight for it again. Last 35 seconds of the first half. Can Melbourne get another shot at goal? Neitz still not able to quite hold it. Has it stolen? Well done, Prestigiacomo. And the ball out of bounds. Well done. With 23 seconds remaining.
Shane O'Brien on screen. 14 possessions and also kicked a goal. The Demons 7-6-48. They lead by 3 points. 7-3-45 the D's. Scotty Burns to O'Brien. So a transfer of play to Tyson Lane. Time clock ticking away. 14 seconds left. Out in front, Mel Michael. Still a chance for the Pies. Time clock ticking away. Lecuria on the burst. Takes him on. Into the centre square. Getting back is Gavin Brown. Now will the mark be paid? The siren has beaten him. The siren has beaten Gavin Brown. So Melbourne will go in at the main break. 3 points up. 48 plays, 45.
Doesn't want to give it back, Gavin Brown. I don't blame him. It was his first mark.
The boos are going around the ground. But I believe that the umpires made the right decision then. The siren beat him. Kevin, our statistician, is shaking his head. But I reckon I heard the siren before he took the mark.
Who's Kevin, our statistician, barrack for?
And of course, it's not when the umpire puts his arms in the air, it's when the umpire first hears the siren is what is important. He can put his arms in the air well after the siren has gone, but in his own mind he's got to know when the siren sounded. So at half-time, Melbourne 7-6, 48, lead Collingwood 7-3, 45.
White, clever tap. He knew exactly where Leoncelli was. Gets them into position to have their first attack for the second half. Neitz was over the ball. Uze emerged with it, kicked it high. It's a one-on-one contest. Beams spoilt by Lockyer. Robertson again getting involved, flicking it back. Walsh. It's getting slippery already out there. Umpire let it all go on. Robertson well tackled. White also well tackled. Almost slow motion stuff at the moment. Robertson bundles it out. Walsh pushed as he kicked, and that was pretty good for the Pies. Just bundling the ball onto the wing. An arm wrestle. Mel Michael. Which way's the free going? It's going Collingwood's way. Yeah. No, it's going Melbourne's way.
He's pointed the wrong way. He's made the correct decision, but just pointed the wrong way.
Well, I don't know how you could have played it to either player, to be honest. McDonald gets the ball deep inside 50. Neitz the leaper. Walsh versus Williams. Williams intent on getting it towards the line, and he did that well. That's over and out.
I think Collingwood's big chance of winning this game rests with Prestigiacomo and Mark Richardson playing on Schwarz and Neitz. Schwarz and Neitz, of course, two gun forwards. They haven't been in the game so far. And I think if Prestigiacomo and Richardson can do that job for the rest of the game, then the Pies just might pull off an upset here today. Johnstone, hands and knees. Dimatina as well, just in his second game. Johnstone does well, gets the ball out wide, looking for Leoncelli. Finally taken back over the line by McDonald.
They've had 3 marks between them, Schwarz and Neitz.
Well, they've had no impact on the game. David Schwarz kicked a goal off the ground, his 200th in AFL football, but no real impact up forward. I thought today they may really trouble the Collingwood defence with their marking, but not being able to hang on to the marks at all. They set it up. Lecuria gives it across to Rocker, unloads a big bomb, thumps the ball back. They want a free kick for Tarrant. It was very similar to the one a few moments ago with Woden. Collins comes away from half-back for Melbourne, looks for White, and marks inside the centre square to the run of Powell, who just wobbles the ball forward. A poor kick, shocking bounce for Neitz. Collingwood players 4 against 1. Prestigiacomo did some good shepherding. Lockyer comes away with the ball, pumps the ball wide, and finds Tyson Lane. So the run is on. Orchard was a target. It was a poor kick. Taken away by Rigoni. Under pressure. Forced up against the boundary line. Squeezed up. Taken away by Phoebe. Rockets the ball wide. Powell sets it up again. A poor handball. Didn't hit a target. Uze with a touch of the fumbles. Kicks it off the ground. And goes 35 metres for a boundary throw-in just 5 metres around from the Demons' goal.
It's going to be a scrap now, Aussie, isn't it, by the look of it?
Yeah, I think, Hutto, you have to ask the question after that passage of play. How slippery is the ball now, and how much rain has there been out there on the ground?
Well, the ball in the pocket. Richardson and Schwarz. He got boot to it, Schwarz. Robertson over the top. Really make an enormous effort to knock it out. The umpire deciding the bounce is what is required. Josh Fraser having a rest at the moment. As we said, Anthony Rocker running in the ruck. Deep in attack, Melbourne. Schwarz got it down. They had some runners. Powell stayed back. He can't get it. Neitz over the top. Betheris conceding. And so the margin now 4 points.
Yeah, good work, Rupert Betheris. You don't muck around when it's 10 metres out from goal. Don't give Melbourne a second opportunity. Just bang it through and start again.
Lockyer to bring the ball back into play. 7-7 the Demons, 7-3 the Pies. goes short. Like he was looking for Orchard. Changed his mind and kicks it straight to Ben Beams. What a turnover.
Well, there's one thing playing on and going short, KB, but you don't do it on the opposite side of the body. And coaches always say, if you're going to turn the ball over, you turn it over long. And to turn it over short, 30 metres out in front of goal, to Ben Beams, who is a left footer on the right side of his body here, right side of goals.
Started on the bench, came on in the second quarter, had a real impact on the game. So Beams to extend the lead to 10 points. 45 metres out. Demons in front by 10.
I think that's one area of Collingwood's game that's been disappointing all afternoon. You can't in any way question their endeavour and their enthusiasm, but just turnovers has killed them. And as I said, to turn the ball over at a critical part of the game in that area of the ground and just give them an easy goal like that, it's just crazy.
It's a big goal, isn't it, for Ben Beams? 10 points to margin, slippery conditions. And they're going forward again. Beams with some confidence, finds Walsh. So Melbourne deep inside 50 already. Lockyer, chance to redeem himself. Didn't muck around that time. Just banged it on the boot. Good work from Brown. Kept it alive, kept it up. This is Oborn. He might fancy himself. Pumps it long to the square. Good distance. Oh, Tyson Lane. He broke away, but just couldn't take the mark. And Phoebe clearing it for Melbourne. Out to half-back. Oh, Uze. Just showing his wonderful talents. He's kicked, though, just a little bit too far. Good tackling, Lucuria. Got rid of Jeff White. Oh, he did it incorrectly, said the umpire. What did
the umpire's deemed that he didn't have possession of the ball there. I'd like to see that on replay, actually.
So Jeff White again to send Melbourne forward. Neitz leads to about 38. It wasn't a bad kick. Just couldn't hang on to it. Williams dragged down as he kicked it. It was relatively effective, though, for Collingwood because it finds the line. Peter Walsh. Oh, Beams in trouble.
Looks like he may have injured his wrist here pretty severely. He looks to be in quite a bit of pain. So this is a blow because he's just kicked a goal and he's been a very good player since coming off the bench. Very dark and gloomy, the MCG. They should put the lights on. Schwarz with strength, tries to fire off the ball, does well. Back to Walsh on 50. Danger here for the Pies. Neitz takes the front position, just hasn't been able to hang on to his marks. Prestichia-Como has been very good in defence. Burns pumps the ball wide to O'Brien. Some run now for the Pies. Atkins, the youngster, carries the ball and thumps it down, looking for Tarrant. He can be the focal point up forward. Gavin Brown on the lead, that's been ignored. The kick's a wobbly one, looking for Oborn. Traps it, 35 metres out, a centering kick. Danger here for Melbourne. Mel Michael in front, dives on the ball. Woden over the top. Still loose. They wanted a free kick.
I think they should have got one, KB.
White, that centre-half back, wants to set it up, trying to be the playmaker, does well. To Ragoni, who charges away from half-back, kicks the ball wide. What a kick. Finds Uze, a dangerous player. This time, Schwarz, second grab, he's got it.
Yeah, poor old Ben Beams going off the ground. Doesn't look good. You'd hate to guess what the problem is, but definitely looks like his wrist from here.
Melbourne by 10 points. David Schwarz. 9 possessions today. He's kicked a goal. He's 200th in AFL football. Came with a kick off the ground in the first quarter. Schwarz to extend the lead. The vice captain. They're in front by 16 points.
Well, good on you, David Schwarz. He, to me, one of the most inspirational stories in football. He's had that many problems with his knees, so many knee reconstructions. Not dissimilar to Lee Walker of Collingwood, who ended up finishing his career. But what a story of persistence David Schwarz is. You know, after all those operations, he's one of Melbourne best and fairest, and he's just so competitive. Just a great story.
plenty to think about for Mick Malthouse. And the Collingwood hierarchy now, all of a sudden, the lead, which changed 7 times in the first half, has blown out to 16 points. Orchard over the top, holding it in. And really, things can change just so quickly, can't they? A few moments ago, the ball was at the Collingwood end of the ground, and I thought Mel Michael was infringed once, maybe twice, by Shane Woden. He was certainly hanging on to his jumper when the ball came down, and then maybe he was over the top as well of the shoulder. But the ball was whipped down, and now Melbourne scored the goal. They lead by 16 points. So a big test for the Pies here. And their midfield has been pretty good, but at the moment they're just being a little bit overwhelmed. McDonald sending it out to Uze. Good distance on the kick. Run with it, Farmer. And he takes the mark. Came back on when Beams went off. And Farmer, who's had just one kick, one handball and one mark, can line up for his first goal. And gets it. Well, now there's real trouble for the Pies, Richard.
Yeah, well, Melbourne probably did threaten to blow the game out, but you know, you'd hate to pinpoint one area of the game or one piece of play that was the turning point, but just that turnover from Tarkin Lockyer, perhaps when the game's all over and it's been won or lost by either Melbourne or Collingwood, you'll look back and say that was a critical turnover, and that really did change the outcome of the game.
Melbourne by 22 points. Jeff Farmer, just the 3 possessions today, has been cooling his heels on the bench. He's come on to replace Beams, and he's kicked a goal. Rocker wins the tap. Dimatina paddles the ball long in front, kept his eyes on the ball and his body in line. McDonald thumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Neitz goes to ground. Farmer beaten this time. Now the free kick is going to Collingwood.
I like the look of Oborn. Just moves well, I reckon.
Well, he's got it on the edge of the centre square, back edge. Again, a very ordinary kick.
Still like the look of him, Hutto?
Not so much now, is he?
Just flopped off the boot. So the Demons with a bit more life in the legs in this third term. Jeff White finds Leoncelli, marks in front of Rocker to centre half forward. This time Neitz must take a mark.
Well, KB, that's been the difference. Obviously, Collingwood have stuck with him in the first half, but I don't remember seeing a Collingwood forward hit on the lead like that. Gavin Brown's provided a good couple of options, but just the turnovers, whereas Melbourne with Leoncelli, perfect lead by David Neitz and a perfect pass. So impressed that Gio Kermo could not have stopped that.
Yet to register a score, David Neitz. His partner in crime, David Schwarz, has booted 2. Neitz from just outside of 50. It's going. It's going. It's gone. Well, he was their leading goal kicker last year with 46 goals, David Neitz. Been playing up back, but that's a very important goal.
It is, KB, and I think unless something extraordinary happens to the outcome of this game, it's going, it's gone, is just about what you can say about Collingwood's chances in this contest.
Well, that just about sums up Collingwood's position at the moment. An air of gloom among the Magpie fans. White dominating the ball out of the middle there, getting a really decisive tap. And in this quarter, the centre hit-outs 4-1. It's certainly where they've been getting the ball moving.
Inside 50, 11 to Melbourne, 3 for Collingwood.
They've really blown it open in the last 8 minutes, boys. Melbourne have kicked the last 4 goals of the game.
Rocker still in the ruck. Fraser warming up, though, to come back on. So Malthouse obviously agrees that that's an area they need to make a change in. It's a pretty good tackle. Give given that Johnson just ducked the head and went straight into that. See the rain falling down as Josh Fraser gets ready to come back on. Aussie, you predicted at half-time the rain would favour Collingwood, so that's another marvellous prediction.
That's how much I know about the game.
Burns over the top. Oh, Rigoni did well, handled it surely, out in front of Robertson. Johnson laconically kicks off the left, and that, I think, is what, as much as anything, disappoints Melbourne fans and no doubt officials about Travis Johnson. Sometimes, given his skills, oh dear, hang on. Oh, well done, Jeff Farmer.
Well, if there's one player in the competition who can excite the fans, it's the Wizard. He has done nothing all day. He's been taken from the field. He's come on when Beams went off with what looks to be a bad wrist injury. He's come straight on the ground, kicked the goal, and now taken a ripper mark.
Leon Davis coming off. As Farmer drills it. His second. And how quickly things can turn around. They were celebrating Leon Davis's first half performance. And 5 goals later for Melbourne, and he's off the ground. And that kick from Orchard just wasn't good enough. And maybe Lockyer should have been a bit higher, Aussie, there to try and make it
perhaps, but
it was hard, wasn't it?
Oh, it was hard, and I think at the end of the day, it was a very risky kick by Orchard, turning the ball over in front of goal again. That's the second time we've seen that, and a very crucial mistake by Collingwood.
He's booted 31 goals for the season, the Wizard, Jeff White. His confidence is high, so Zuze has had a great game, 18 possessions, tumbles the ball forward, but Theris is caught. Good tackle by Robertson. And a ball up on the edge of the centre square, half-forward line for Melbourne. Leon Davis on the bench. Did very well in the first half. Just a young man still making his way in the game. Fraser started on the bench in this third quarter, now on the ruck. Walsh. Demons with some extra strength midfield. Rigoni, Leoncelli, a bit more muscle. Schwarz looks dangerous. Couldn't take it, second grab. Full marks to Richardson, made a strong contest, but Theris to Burns. All of a sudden, the Collingwood defence under a lot of pressure. Adkins comes away from half-back. Brown on the lead, that's been ignored. He's gone for the longer option. He's got it. Rocker. Now Mel Michaels on a long lead. He's got Woden to beat. There's a height advantage. Michaels takes the front position. He's got it. Gives it across to Orchard. It's going to bounce through.
Yeah, it was a good mark from Mel Michael, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a test of strength, and obviously he had more strength than his direct opponent. But it obviously paid off, but I just thought it was a little risky to play on and give the ball to Orchard. But you know, Mel obviously knew what he was doing, and Mark Orchard was good enough to finish it off with a goal. Just a wry smile on his face.
I think that would sum it up. I'm not sure that he really wanted it.
Yeah, sigh of relief, that's for sure.
Well, a big relief for Collingwood. Now that they've got that goal on the board, we saw Brisbane storm home last night against the Kangaroos. There's plenty of time left in the match. But Jeff White dominating out of the middle, and it makes it awfully hard for the defence when the amount of supply they're getting at the moment. Lockyer trying to watch Farmer. Schwarz just cleared the path for himself. Almost went out of bounds. Didn't quite. Johnson breaks the tackle. Farmer again. No, across the face. And it bounced, I think, didn't it, before it went out of bounds? It did, so we'll have a throw in deep in the forward pocket.
Jeff Farmer on screen. The Wizard has kicked 2 goals in his third term. He might kick 3. The Wizard! Number 3! Well, it's a funny game, football. He should be still sitting on the bench because Ben Beams came on, did very well replacing Jeff Farmer. It looks like he may have cracked a wrist or broken a wrist or a hand. He's gone off the field in his third term. They've had to bring Farmer on, and he's gone bang, bang, bang with 3 quick goals.
He's done very well. Actually, I'm of the belief that a guy like Farmer should never be on the bench. He's always going to have that ability to do something special. I remember an old teammate of mine, Mickey Conlon. He could go all day without kicking a goal, and when most needed, he'd do it. Jeff Farmer's that sort of guy. Leave him on there.
Yes, there's players like that. Paul Hudson is one. You never know when they're going to kick their goals. They just sort of, in a great burst, aren't they? They're likely to kick 3 or 4 and a quarter, and Farmer's done this in this third term.
Well, it's out of the middle where the trouble started. Fraser now in there. Orchard, a hurried kick. At least getting Collingwood to half forward, but Oborne had it ripped away. Burns has got it just a slight edge on Johnson there to get to the ball. He's over it, and he just got rid of it in time. Melbourne, though, keeping it alive. Walsh's handball to Leoncelli. Rigoni, well wrapped up. That's good work. O'Brien, it was a funny old handball. Bit of head skills there from Williams. Broke the tackle, sets it up. Made it pretty tough for Mel Michael in the end. And that's a low tackle on Collins. No, not paid. Oh, Brown, well wrapped up. Tarrant, oh, he's gone. Was it a throw? No. Umpire letting it all go. Up to full forward. Here's Tyson Lane. No, he couldn't take it either. Demons win out. Uze's kick into the middle of the ground. And it still opens up for Melbourne. Great pick up from Schwarz. Shrugs the tackle. Got the handball back. Leoncelli. He was Rigoni. He was almost caught. But got it off to James McDonald, who's just on the ground. Farmer again. Oh, Lockyer having a nightmare of a third quarter. Neitz isn't. That wasn't a good kick. And Scotty Burns takes the mark.
Too close to the man on the mark. Jeff Farmer had to get back from the man. Give himself a little bit of space. Burns goes wide, so a transfer of play finds Richardson. Shares the ball along with O'Brien. Pumps the ball back. Batheris ran with the flow of the ball. It was a tough one. Whelan to Walsh to Schwarz into the centre square. Great play. Finds Johnston. They're just a bit too physically strong midfield. You know, Rigoni and Leoncelli. They've got that physical size about them.
It's just been the sheer weight of numbers, KB.
And Uze, of course, also around the centre of the square.
Yeah, well, the class is just starting to rise to the top now.
Travis Johnston just still trying to really become a permanent player with the Demons. He's kicked a goal. He's 45 metres out. Wonderful kick. Two goals to Travis Johnston. And all of a sudden, the Demons are 91 to play 51. They're 40 points in front after leading by just 3 points at half-time.
Yeah, well, that passage of play started down back. There was 5 or 6 tackles in a row. Just sheer pressure just blew Collingwood out of the water. And as you said, Uze and Rigoni and Leoncelli, these sort of guys are getting so much of the ball through the middle and just giving their forwards the opportunity to kick those goals.
Well, it's out to 40 points now. It was only 3 at half-time. So a terrific quarter by the Demons. And here they go again out of the middle. Probing kick. Oh, Neitz almost. Burns. Well tackled by McDonald. The pressure was still on. Hurry kick forward from Uze right to the point of the square. Robertson! And he wants to go on and make sure of it. Another one to the D's. 3 goals to Russell Robertson. An 8-goal quarter by Melbourne. And they have blown this game.
Yeah, you'll see on replay, I think Russell Robertson wasn't too sure whether the umpire, in fact, was going to pay the mark. So he was going to put it, no doubt, in the umpire's mind whatsoever. He played on and banged it through. 3 goals to Russell Robertson. What a class performance.
Well, Batheris has done a pretty good job on him since quarter time until then.
19 possessions too to Robinson. He's had a lot of the ball.
And he's taken 10 marks today and he's booted 3 goals. 27 goals for the season. Dimatina for the Pies. Deep in the forward line. That's a good kick. And he finds Mel Michael. So just the eyes darting to see whether or not there's an opportunity. He's well within kicking distance. But it's a centering kick and it's a poor one. Because Uze nearly took a one-hander. And does well at ground level. It's been magnificent today. Adem Uze, Rigoni, that look-away handball, sets it up. Whelan comes away from half-back. There's an almighty buzz going around the ground. The Demon fans have come alive. Simmons pumps the ball back towards centre-half back. Rigoni rockets the ball across. McDonald runs through the centre square to the half-forward line. Schwarz in front. Richardson does well. Dimatina, the crummer. Playmaker sets it up to O'Brien. Comes away from half-back. Looking for a loose player. Didn't really hit his target again. Lecuria. All of a sudden, the Magpies look a little bit ragged. Leon Davis straight off the bench, around the corner. Again, didn't really hit the target. Coming away with the ball. And pumping the ball back towards the forward line is Jackatine. Good kick. And the mark's been paid.
In the back, I think, was it? Or no?
I thought he may have paid the mark. Gavin Brown's got it. Let's have a look. No, there was not a mark. So Gavin Brown. An important kick for the Pies. Just 3.5 minutes left in this third term. They've been blown away. 8 goals to 1 this quarter. He's kicked 9 goals, 1 for the season. Great kick. Right to the line. I think he may have kicked it.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Well, if that made the distance, KB, that made the distance by 3 millimetres.
Well, that's enough.
Yeah, you don't get 7 points for kicking it further, do you? But as you see on the replay, that was not a mark. Obviously, the umpire was blindsided. Gavin obviously not noted for his length in kicking. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a good decision. That is a goal.
Well, the lights are on here at the MCG. They've been off for most of the quarter for Collingwood, though. (15-9). Out of the middle, Williams. They could just finish off the quarter with a couple, Collingwood. They, well, at least keep themselves within touch. But they need to get another couple. They've got 3 minutes to do it in. Oh, what a big grab from Tarrant! You've got to admit that there is some young talent down there, and young Tucky as well, who's not playing today, is another forward of the future.
Is that some young talent or some young talent, you said?
That would be talent, Richard.
No, KB did sing his praises earlier. There's no doubt he is a talented young player.
Let's see if he can convert from 40. Looks good. It is good. So well done. We've kicked 2 in the last minute and 3 goals to Chris Tarrant. His afternoon at the office. 10 disposals and 6 marks and 3 straight, and that is his best grab.
It was a strong grab, wasn't it? Just took that with a lot of authority. And that'll give his teammates some sort of hope for the last quarter. They're not completely out of it. Just keep hanging in there.
They lead by 34 points, the Demons. The Pies took a standing 8 count in this third term, but no knockout blow just yet. They tied up inside the centre square.
It took him a while, but Fraser has just become a bit more competitive in the ruck. I think Simmons is doing the ruck work now, but Jeff White really dominated, didn't he, for the first 15 minutes of this quarter.
Simmons in the ruck for Melbourne. Walsh. Lecuria sets it up. Williams weeds his way out of trouble. He was looking for Rocker. They'll force the ball to 50. Lecuria again taken to ground. Tackle by Collins. They'll ball it up 48 metres out from Collingwood's goal. Time clock, 1:40. Can they grab another goal, the Pies? They trail 63-97. They were 46 points down in this third term. They've dragged it back in the last couple of minutes. Rocker to do the ruck work. Dimatina, an important kick. Chance for Davis, can't get there. Bad bounce of the ball, favours Powell. It's where Melbourne's been good across half-back. Johnson, a ball carrier. A chip kick, but Theris is going to hit it hard and does it well. Kept his eyes firmly on the ball, crashed to the ground was Lecuria. And a ball up inside the centre square. Time clock ticking away, just a minute left in this third term.
Yes, absolutely vital for Collingwood that they score one though in these last 50 seconds. 34 points will be very tough to get back, as indeed would 28, but we'll just give them a chance, and now they'll have a chance to go forward. Free kick going the way of Craig Jacatine. And he's just told by Gavin Brown to kick it long. He's got Rocker, he's got Tarrant. Goes for Tarrant, who just couldn't hang on to that one. Jukovic came through, Michael slapped it back. No free kick. We're down to 24 seconds. And the ball over and out. And 22 seconds on the time clock. Right down in front of the Melbourne cheer squad. We're making plenty of noise down there. It's been a great quarter by the Demons. Fraser trying to do it on his own. Sends them deep inside. Davis coming from behind. Rocker trying to stand up here. Kicks it back to the top of the square, but it's all Melbourne. And Johnson takes the mark, and that'll just about do it. 10 seconds to go. So as long as he doesn't kick this to a Collingwood player. Oh! Just for a minute, it didn't look good. Siren sounds. So a fantastic quarter by the Demons. They kicked 8 goals, 1, and Collingwood kicked 3 goals straight.
Magnificent quarter by the Demons there, an 8-goal quarter in fact.
Well, they say the premiership quarter's the third quarter. Melbourne certainly have made it their own quarter. Mick Malthouse obviously got some problems and a lot of things to work through at the three-quarter time break, but we've already mentioned Jeff Farmer and his influence on this game. It was a 5 or 10 minute burst where he's just blown the game wide open with 3 goals, something that he has that ability to do week in, week out.
Physically getting on top in that quarter. Let's see if the Pies have got any petrol left. White, another tap, that's 15 for the day. Uze, another kick, that's 23 for the day. White, another mark, that's 8 for the day. White's kick, oh, Farmer! It was almost an accident, that, wasn't it? Just cleared the pack narrowly, and Farmer fell into the mark. He was leading out though, and he was in front.
And your little poem, Hutto, may end up Farmer, another goal. That's 4 for the day.
Yeah.
I was just hoping Russell Robertson wasn't going to take the mark.
Yeah, Robertson's had 10 marks, 19 possessions and 3 goals too. Farmer, 4 marks, 3 goals straight, and now 4 goals straight. Just about squash out any thoughts of a Collingwood comeback, I would think.
Yeah, no doubt that. Jeff Farmer has been the man, and as I said earlier, if I was the coach, I would never, ever have Jeff Farmer on the bench. He's not the sort of player that you take off the bench and throw him back on half an hour later to fire up. It's probably going to be worse. It's almost been a blessing in disguise, the injury to Ben Beams. You'd hate to say that, but Farmer's been magnificent since coming back on.
Melbourne by 40 points. 4 goals to Jeff Farmer. They've all come in about just under a quarter of football. White, it's been good today. Obviously over that shin problems. Phoebe across half-back. Finds Bruce, comes away. He's had his hands full with Tarrant. He's good at 3 goals. Uze has been an absolute star. Goes short to Leoncelli. So he'll share it back with Uze. Looks down looking for McDonald. Did well with a good body work, got past Orchard, then just arched the back, ran to 50. Here comes the Wizard! He's hot. You can't touch him. You need asbestos gloves.
Tell you what, KB, if you suggested about an hour ago when he was sitting on the bench that he was going to finish with at least 5 goals, you'd put us in a white coat and send us home.
The Wizard kicks 5.
I thought about doing that for you a few times, Ozzy, actually.
Well, we might get some more thrills and spills before this quarter's over. There's 18 minutes left, and he's kicked 2. I think if we look at the minutes he's been on the ground, he'd be lucky to be on the ground, I would think. I'll ask Kev, our statistician. He'd probably only been on the ground for about 25 minutes.
Well, he did spend a fair bit of time
after half-time. After half-time.
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry,
the first half, I mean, he never touched the ball.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So all this damage has come in 25 minutes.
And what damage it is too. 17 goals to 10 now. Fraser working overtime in the middle. Lockyer should be able to send them forward. Wow, how far did that travel? I would say 3.5 to 4 metres. Goes short. Mercuria, little dappy pass over the top, wasn't it? I agree.
And Kev, our statistician, just told us his 5 goals have come in 22 minutes.
Tarrant might unload this one right to the square, but little Jacketeen's got to fight. 3, Jeff White! Oh, not quite. Jose, the full 360. Collins got clear. So that was all set up for Jeff White to take another one of those spectacular marks, wasn't it? Gio Bree did excellently well to keep that in. Lay the handball off, and Theris's kick was fairly lame in the end. And then Jose. Well, maybe that's why he doesn't handball too often. 25 kicks and 3 handballs, though. Peter Walsh, who I reckon would be a real favourite with the Demon fans. Not so on that occasion for that little kick. Oh, Jacketeen. Schwarz was bearing down. Richardson just got clear with the tackle. Jacketeen's kick was also run down. So the Demons doing everything right now. Travis Johnson, one of the benefits of the day, although that was a bit of a no kick.
Push.
Oh, he's got to push in the back. So often it happens, doesn't it, when a player's running away, that you just do anything to stop him and you give him a shove. But I don't reckon. Was it maybe the second one that they paid there? There wasn't much in that at all.
In the replay, Jukovic, I thought, put a good amount of pressure on him, but obviously the umpire saw differently.
Well, Johnson sets it up to the top of the square. Richardson, Fraser. Did pretty well that time. This is Paul Williams now. Leon Davis not interfered with. He was interfered with. So he'll take the free. Not much on offer. Phoebe getting back to fill the hole, and Davis, well, I think he was going for Mel Michael, but hopelessly outnumbered. Travis Johnson kicks it beautifully to the wing. Robertson accepts. Demons just moving up a gear now, sternning forward. Neitz well wrapped up. Farmer, number 6. Oh, he tried. He probably should have picked it up and handballed it to David Schwarz. Oh, Richardson took a long time. He's still over it. He must be in trouble. He was a bit lucky, I think. Just probably wasn't quite an emphatic enough tackle applied, and that saved his bacon. And there's a lovely kick at goal from Mercuria to concede and just get them out of trouble. 47 points the margin there.
Kevin Brown taking a spell for the Pies. Veteran now, Gavin Brown, is playing game number 248 today. Theris pumps the ball back. And Neitz just too tall for Mercuria, for Jukovic, and goes short and finds McDonald. Loose players, some sloppy checking. Phoebe just shares the ball with Neitz to the square. Farmer looks dangerous. He's got it.
Well, Robertson would have taken it if Farmer hadn't it, I think.
I could see him coming. He has launched himself. And this is great for football, because the crowd here today at the MCG has seen a player not touch the ball in the first half. He was benched, and he's come onto the ground, and in 22 minutes he's kicked 5 goals. Now he's going for goal number 6. Jeff Farmer. 6 goals to the Wizard.
Well, thankfully he hasn't been on the whole game, KB. He's kicked 5 in 22 minutes. Possibly that all-time goal-kicking record of 18 held by Fred Fanning may have been blown completely out of the water.
Well, he's kicked 6 probably in about 27 minutes now.
He certainly is something special, that's for sure, Jeffrey Farmer.
Well, it's exciting for Melbourne fans, not just that they're 8 goals in front, but that Jeff Farmer and Jeff White, I think just as importantly, are backing some sort of form. And we looked before the game at a graphic looking back at 1998 when they had a few losses mid-season and then came steaming home. And I'm pretty sure, and I think you've got it in front of you, KB, they've got a relatively easy run home, Melbourne.
Well, they play 7 of their last 8 games in Melbourne, 4 at the MCG and 3 at Colonial. Well, we think they play 3 at Colonial Stadium and 1 at Subiaco, which is in round 22. So 7 games in Melbourne, MCG and Colonial.
And importantly, they don't play Essendon, they don't play Carlton. I know they play the Kangaroos.
They play Hawthorn, Richmond, North Melbourne, Sydney, St Kilda, Freo, Geelong and West Coast.
So it's really going to be in their hands, isn't it? They're in the 8 at the moment. They'll get a good percentage boost out of today. Zuze takes it over the line and out of bounds. He's going to get a free kick for over the shoulder. What have you made of Collingwood's effort today, KB?
Well, what I expected, brave in the first half while young legs can run and while physical strength doesn't take over. But in the second half, they're just too frail. They're not big enough, not strong enough, not experienced enough. And as a result, these stronger sides will just blow them away. Great kick by Williams. Kicks a goal. He's got 2.
I know it's easy to say, Aussie, but Collingwood need more of those goals, don't they, from Paul Williams? I'm not questioning his effort and his commitment around the ground, and he's been, you know, pretty reasonable for them today, but the way their forward line lines up, there really isn't anybody to kick those sort of goals, is there?
No, with definitely with Nathan Buckley out. And also Sav Rocker out of the side. They did need perhaps Anthony Rocker to stand up, as much as he has been quite competitive today. Chris Tarrant has kicked 3 goals, but Paul Williams with 2 goals possibly could have done a little bit more.
Haven't got a roving forward, have they, really?
Not at all.
From the centre square, Leoncelli again pumps Melbourne back, and that's a good strong mark by Vitheris. Orchard has got the job playing on Jeff Farmer. Lockyer has been moved away. O'Brien across half back. Running hard is Tarrant. Kicks in the air. This will be a difficult one to take. Collins had the set. That wasn't a good kick because it was a bit too high. He had to run underneath the ball. Had to be in front of Tarrant. He's been very good again today. He's booted 3 goals. He's taken 7 marks. Richardson from behind. Thumps it forward. Leoncelli sees the ball over for a toss back in. 18-8, 116 Melbourne. Collingwood 11-3, 69. Main goal kickers for Melbourne. Jeff White has booted 6. 3 to Russell Robertson, 2 to David Schwarz, and 2 to Travis Johnstone. And for Collingwood, 3 to Chris Tarrant and 2 to Paul Williams.
Richardson can send them thumping forward. Rocker's down there, one-on-one. Ingerson did well to get him out of position. Tarrant off the ground. Oborn and a behind.
I might have said Jeff White 6. I meant Jeff Farmer 6 goals.
18-8 to 11-4.
KB, you mentioned Collingwood and the fact that their young legs took them so far, then experience has just taken Melbourne over the line now. Where does that leave a guy like Gavin Krasiska? Would you play him? Or, you know, obviously Mick Malthouse is going for a youth policy, but surely a blend of experience has to help them.
Well, I don't know how he's been playing because you don't really see him these days playing in the reserves, and that's one of the problems. Uze to the running Jeff White, trying to be a little bit fancy. Uze's been magnificent today. He's won so much of the ball. He's been an absolute star. 33 possessions. Lockyer caught. Magpie defence now under a lot of pressure. Orchard trying to get support from Scotty Burns. He had 2 Melbourne players chasing and ran after him. And Mel Michael has battled hard against Woe Woden. Caught high. No free kick. Loose ball. Woe Woden goes to ground. Thought he might have copped one high as well. The ball up on centre wing. Look, I think if Gavin Krasiska is playing really good football, he would be in the side. I can only suggest that he hasn't been in top form.
He had some injuries earlier in the year. I think he said himself he hasn't been playing great footy in the twos. But I tend to agree with you.
Look, you'd have to play good football in the reserves because the reserves is not a super strong competition at this stage. I mean, the first year of the VFL. So you've got to be able to dominate that if you want to get in, I would think, if you're an experienced player.
Yeah, but surely, KB, with 8 and now 9 losses in a row, it's not going to do any harm to put some experience in the side, no matter what form they're in, because possibly Gavin Krasiska may be a player that just doesn't play well in the reserves.
Fair point.
Walsh and the Melbourne fans will be happy. They combine well to get out of defence. Walsh can go probing. Neitz, he's just got that lurking look about him as he came charging out. Could have infringed. Schwarz, terrific play. James McDonald. Farmer for number 7. Yes, sirree! Oh, don't they love it? Yeah, I tell you what, they are exciting, Melbourne, to watch, aren't they? When they're going, when they've got White, they've got Farmer, Uze, Neitz, Schwarz.
Well, he might kick 10 goals today. There's 10 minutes to go.
Just amazing, KB, isn't it? How he can just pop up and kick those goals. He is a freak.
Well, Jeff Farmer, he has booted 7 goals. They lead by 52 points. White jumping high. Johnstone is gaining in confidence. Good sign for Melbourne. Pulled off the ball. White, another one who's done so well today. Neitz takes the front position. They'll paddle the ball along in front. Robertson was one of the early stars. Uze leaves it for Schwarz. The Ox does well. The Earth might be slow, but the Ox isn't. Goes wide, looks for Leoncelli. Couldn't quite take it. Betheris paddles the ball along in front. Runs away from half back. Drills it along terra firma, but the whistle is gone. And the ball is coming back, and Betheris will take the free kick. 14 possessions today to Rupert Betheris. Goes short. Licuria from half back. Mel Michaels a target. Ingerson, the long arms. Been a very strong Melbourne defence since half-time. Backed up by a good midfield. And an amazing game from Jeff Farmer. McDonald, high ball. Looked like a free kick maybe to Schwarz. Could have been manhandled. Davis the tackler on Wheatley. A ball up just outside of 50.
Well, 9 minutes to go. And Jeff Farmer is down on the goal scorer at the moment. He's kicked 7 in the second half, as we've talked about. Free kick to Schwarz. And Mark Richardson saying, I can't take a trick, or words to that effect. Schwarz goes for Jeff in the pocket. No, not this time, Jeff. The ball out of bounds. (19-8 to 11-4). Schwarz and Richardson. Quick kick into the square. Neitz, Woden. Kept it in, kept it alive. Neitz. Robertson dishing it off. Guess who? Oh, he missed the lot. He missed the lot.
Oh, get him off. He's no good.
Yeah, drag him.
Drag him. He's a hack.
He might have just got disorientated here, the Wizard. He just didn't quite... Maybe he thought they were the goals.
Oh, dear. Oh, well done, Schwarz. And Leoncelli drills it. They're coming from everywhere now. So the Magpies being overrun here at the MCG. 28 to 11-4. Yes, since half-time, I think it's 13 goals to 4.
Yeah, the floodgates are definitely open. There's no doubt about it. It's actually a shame. Collingwood have tried hard all day, but history will show that it's an extremely one-sided affair at the end of the day.
Melbourne by 58 points. Travis Johnson really now gaining in confidence. Neitz and Betheris. Again does well. That was a strong mark. And again to his partner in crime in Licuria from half back. Tries to set it up short. Williams. Out wide. He was looking for Kinnear. That's been ignored. Rocker was the target. Ingerson just paddles the ball along in front. Schwarz is caught. Good enough to just get the ball away, but he's been pinned. Kinnear has spent most of the game on the bench. Tarrant is going to hit it hard. And if they could get the ball down into their forward line enough times to this guy, he will be a potent force because he's got a great work rate. Walsh has just come off for Melbourne. He went off with injured ribs last week. Had a tremendous third term with 11 possessions. Tarrant is going for goal number 4. He is a real talent. Chris Tarrant. Four goals, 1 goal in each quarter to Tarrant. And no doubt he'll be part of Mick Malthouse's plans in years to come.
Yeah, 4 goals at the end of the day is a pretty good return. He's kicked a third of the side's score, so Mick Malthouse and Chris Tarrant should be quite happy with his form under duress.
So just under 7 minutes to go. White, I think that's hit out number 21 for Jeff White. And there's a throw paid. Free kick going Collingwood's way, being taken by Paul Williams. 17 possessions today for Williams, and that's a lovely kick. 39,710. And most of them still here watching Chris Tarrant take that mark. And it was just beautifully placed out in front. Lovely lead, and let's hope that Chris Tarrant can convert, kick his 5th goal. I think someone's suggesting that he should go back out surfing. No, that wasn't a great kick. Leon Davis, can he get the ball? Tarrant might get a second chance. O'Brien into the square and almost through. Just a behind. So 12-6, 12-5. Plays 20 goals, 8.
Phoebe goes short, finds Wheatley. Young man from North Heidelberg. Beautiful looking kick. A great kick. He was looking for McDonald and Tyson Lane for Collingwood. Sees the ball over the line. Still just under 6 minutes left. And this buzz has been humming since Jeff White came on after being benched in that second quarter. He only had the 1 touch. And since then, he has booted 7 goals. McDonald pumps it long. Farmer. He's got it! Now you see him, now you don't. There was a puff of smoke. He just pulled a football out of the hat.
Merlin the magician.
Watch Mark Orchard's face on the replay. I don't think it didn't change at all, but it was just a pained expression. We mightn't see it from this angle.
He's going for 5 goals in this last quarter. He's going for 8 for the game. Jeff Farmer, take a bow. You have been magnificent.
He held up 8 fingers then, I think, didn't he?
Well, why wouldn't you either? It's an amazing effort. It's funny if... but you hate to see a player get injured like Ben Beams has, but if he wasn't injured, I wonder if Jeff Farmer would have in fact been put back on the ground.
I reckon he'd probably be still sitting on the bench.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Might be a blood rule back here. Scotty Burns coming from the ground, and Travis Johnson also for Melbourne. Just misery for the Pies at the moment. 12-5-77 to 21-8-134. Jeff Farmer has kicked 8 second-half goals.
Well, Kevin, our statisticians, just added up the minutes. In the second half, he's kicked 8 goals in 40 minutes.
I wonder what the most goals in a half of football ever has been. I'm sure it's more than 8. I'm sure it'd be probably up around the 10 or 11. But
well, we know that Simon Beaumont kicked 8 goals in the first half against Collingwood.
Yep.
I dare say Plugger has kicked more than that for when he was playing with Sydney against Fitzroy.
Well, guess who? He's got it again. Let's hope he has a shot. Have a shot, Jeff. He's not wasting any time. Fairly tough kick. Nothing's tough for Jeff. Oh, he can do it all.
Well,
bow down.
well, for all the fans fans here today, the 39,000, nearly 40,000 fans, they have seen a game that they will go home and they will talk about.
Yep.
And that's why Jeff Farmer is great. Because they'll go home and they'll say, I was there the day at the MCG where this man came off the bench and kicked 9 goals in a half of football. It's not over yet. And he's done it with brilliance, acceleration, just magic, and lapping it up.
Yeah, all the Melbourne members that didn't go to the opening of the ski season, they decided to stay and watch the match and be delighted. Williams gets it out of the middle. The long kick to full forward. No mark there. Wheatley under pressure, got the handball away. Powell, there's a rushed handball, but Collins turned it into something good. Leoncelli, Powell, breaking through the lines. Uze's been magnificent. On the end of it, Leoncelli's been great. Woden, a little quiet. Goes in short, spoils the party, goes to Neitz. Clearly, Farmer was a better option than KB. He had 3 blokes in front of him, but he was still a better option.
I mean, I think we can ask the question, what is David Neitz doing? Surely he knew Jeff Farmer was behind him.
David Neitz really hasn't had a great day. He had trouble holding his marks, particularly in the first half. So an important kick for him here. He brings it back. I don't think he brought it back enough behind. So probably today wouldn't have done much in Neil Danaher's mind in deciding exactly where David Neitz is more effective.
Lockyer brings the ball back into play.
Here we go.
Farmer. Oh, maybe a push in the back. No, he does it well to Powell. Keeps the ball alive. Uze kicks a goal. Yes! Touched on the line.
Well, do you reckon the umpire was... Why wouldn't he have paid a free then to Jeff Farmer?
Well, we might be just over anxious.
We might be a little bit.
Lockyer. Again to bring the ball back into play. Betheris, workmanlike again today from half back. O'Brien wrestling with Wheatley. Will take the free. He gets the go-ahead. Rockers the ball wide. They look like they could collide. Adkins to Williams. Finds Josh Fraser in front. That's a good grab. Time clock shows just over 2.5 minutes left in this final quarter. Josh Fraser yet to kick a goal today. He's a talent. He was very good in the first half. He did some really nice things. Just got to get bigger and stronger. First season of AFL football. He'll be like Jeff White in about 3 seasons' time. And Uze off the field. He's had a wonderful game. And Travis Johnson comes back on.
35 touches, Adem Uze.
Josh Fraser. Can he bend it back? Oh, fancy, he's hit the post. He has just shaved the post.
Now, Kevin, are you going to fit Jeff Farmer into the votes?
You'll wait and see.
Played half a game. Just nailed the...
I'll keep you in suspense.
Just the 9 he's kicked. Woden. With a couple of minutes remaining on the clock. Out to the wing, Fraser, and White! Oh, he went high. He went for it. He really went for it. Let's have a look. He launched himself up. He just got a bit too much of a ride, though, didn't he? And couldn't stay up there long enough. So down to the last 2 minutes now. Lacuria, Jugovic, Slippery, Williams, Betheris. Pretty well tackled. It was Slippery there. You had to feel for him a bit, but Rugani rewarded. He's got Johnson on short, or he can go longer. He goes longer down towards Neitz and Schwarz. Farmer! Oh, he's got it! Unbelievable! Oh, that is unbelievable! This is the goal number 10.
He has kicked Anthony 9 straight.
Have a look at that.
Yes.
Well, the way that he has played has been athletic. It's been, when the ball's been down there, it's what will he do next?
There is 58 seconds left in the game.
For 10 big ones, Jeff Farmer. Oh.
And they're booing.
Take him off.
They're booing.
Take him off.
9 goals, 1 to Jeff Farmer. And that is disappointing because 10 straight would have been just magic. Still, there's 45 seconds left.
One more
Powell.
chance.
Caught high, no free kick. They lead by 65 points, Melbourne. They lead by 3 points at half-time. Schwarz in the ruck. Richardson. Loose ball to Atkins. Just concedes ground, twisting and turning. Richardson just pumps the ball back. Kinnear running with the flight of the ball. Under 10 seconds left. Tyson Lane. From 50 out, Tarrant. Second grab. He's got the free kick. No, the siren's gone. It's a big win to Melbourne, 22-11, 143. Collingwood's 12-6, 78. But that man on screen, they will talk about this game in a long, long time. In the first quarter, he had 1 kick and 1 handball. Never touched the ball in the second quarter, was benched. Then Ben Beams came on, played so well for Melbourne. Looks like he may have broken a wrist or a hand in the third quarter. Then this man came on about the 10-minute mark on screen with Richard Osborne and kicked 9 goals straight before he missed his 10th goal in the dying moments of the game. It was an unbelievable performance.
Oh, yours, Aussie.
Jeffrey, 9 second half goals. You seem to be enjoying yourself out there, mate.
Certainly, mate. Got a bit of a kick in the backside there by Danners, getting taken off in the second quarter. It's good about to come out and show him that I'm capable of playing the game.
And Amuze, 35 possessions. Top game also.
Oh, it's great, mate. You know, Adem class plays. We've sort of been down the last couple of weeks. It's good to finally be able to get a good game under the belt. Hopefully they'll hold us in good stead for the rest of the year.
Well, thanks, Jeffrey. You're exciting to watch. Unbelievable effort, mate. Well done.
I just want to say hello to my grandmother in Tampa, who's just recovering from getting out of hospital. So I love you, my grandmother, and the rest of my family.
Good on you, mate. Good boy.
Well, fantastic stuff from Jeff Farmer to think about that after the exhilaration he's no doubt feeling. You almost think he would have lost by the way.
It would have been lovely for him to kick 10 goals. It's not very often you kick 10 goals in AFL football in a game, unless you happen to be a full forward. I mean, a small player rarely kicks 10 goals in a game. And after taking that superb mark, it obviously just shaved the post, just went a bit left. Would have given him 10 straight, but I think 39,000 fans, nearly 40,000 fans will go away today. They will really talk about the day they saw Jeff Farmer turn it on at the MCG.
Well, the AFL should use this match as a promotional tool. Just get out those highlights of Jeff Farmer and show that around Australia. Try and drag people to the footy because there's nothing more exciting than that. Well, and all the Farmer emotion, I guess we've forgotten about Collingwood, who started the game really well. They were competitive for a half, but their young legs in the end were overwhelmed by a Melbourne team that are in the 8 now. And as we've discussed, have got a relatively good run home. So the job, while being ahead of them, is certainly up to themselves. Some outstanding performers today. Russell Robertson, 8 marks in the first quarter, 22 possessions, kicked 3 goals too. Adem, 30 kicks and 5 handballs, kicked 1 goal, 1. Jeff White, 22 hit-outs. And of course, Jeff Farmer with 9 goals.
One
Well, cheers all round.